Could you tell us about the extraordinary Lily and the story that we're going to see in the Danish girl?
Well, when I first read this script, I knew nothing about Lily's story, Lily and Gerda's story, and what I read was this deeply overwhelming and highly passionate love story, which sort of questioned the boundaries of love in some ways, but also within this was a story of authenticity and what it takes just to be yourself. And as simple as that sounds, it is the most complex of things in which, and so for me, those were the things that I was after in portraying Lily. Those were the themes of the film that grabbed me when I read the script and that I was trying to make sure sung when we finished it.
Were you daunted by the challenge? And in some ways, was that part of why you wanted to do it?
Lily is such an extraordinary woman and an icon in the trans community, and it felt I felt very lucky to be given the opportunity to play her. One is daunted in the way that one is always daunted, just because you don't want to let people down. You don't want to let her memory down. But no, really, it was excitement as well.
This film had a few years before when you and Tom first spoke about it, and it came to the screen. In that time, did you use some of that time to prepare? And if so, how did you prepare?
I mean, I did. The film wasn't greenlit until much later, long after I'd been given the script. So in that time, I'd worked with Lana Wachowski, who we'd talked about Lily together, and she had just owned art by Gerda and really pointed me then to books to read, Kate Bornstein's book, Gender Outlaw, and Jan Morris's book, Conundrum, as places to start reading and to start educating myself. But this was before we knew when the film was going to happen. So for me, that was just also about life and educating myself.
Sure. Lily and Gerda are both wonderful artists, and you do have to paint. Or how did that side of it go?
I love painting, so I was actually quite excited by that. I'm a crap artist, but I do enjoy painting, and did, particularly as a kid, loved it. So any opportunity to get, but what was interesting to me was the difference between Gerda's paintings and Lily's when she was living as Einar's paintings, and there was something. If you look at Einar Weiner's paintings, there is something very specific about them, and that's quite contained, whereas Gerda's are much freer. And that was interesting to me because you look at photos or drawings of Lily when she was living as Einar, and she'd have these huge collars that were sort of almost strangling, and it was like there was an exoskeleton that she'd sort of built up, and it was, as Lily begins to reveal herself, it was about uncovering those things.
Tom talked about one of the reasons why he wanted to work with you, again, you guys have worked together, was that he thought that you would be able to get in touch with that feminine side. Did you talk about that, and did you know what he meant?
I don't know if we talked about it too much. It's interesting, directors always look for things in actors, I suppose. It's a very, and then we don't hear about that. We go and just try and find the character. So, but it was interesting. I look identical to my mum. My first ever professional job was playing viola in Twelfth Night, and so it's not. So the notion of the feminine in me it wasn't a surprise at all. It was and it was really riveting for me to investigate.
Can you talk a little bit about working with Tom? You guys clearly work together very well.
Yeah. Oh God.
What is it? Do you ever sort of think about that, or do you not think about it? The weird thing is when you start acting, you're a one-man band, and you go from, if you're lucky enough to get jobs, you go from different jobs to different whole new groups of people, and it can be a bit lonely at times, or not lonely, but it's a sort of, you're self-employed basically, and then what's amazing is if you befriend people and you get to work with them again, and Tom is a friend, and he has seen a lot of my work on stage and things, so he knows all my tropes and my tricks, and he sees through those things, and we can have a level of honesty in which is which cuts to the chase, and so it's a great treat to get to work with a friend, really.
Brilliant. Thank you so much, Ed.
Thank you.